Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS. Before we start with our daily quiz, we have an announcement. Tomorrow being 1st of November, the state of Karnataka celebrates Kannada Rajyotsava. As a result, the Byju's offices will remain closed and Byju's IAS will not be uploading daily quiz and CNA videos. Let's get started and look into the first question. What was Daman Aiko? A large area of land in the Rajmahal Hills, an educational institution, village headman, protection money paid by the travelers? The answer to this is a large area of land in the Raj Mahal Hills. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of Santal. Let us try and understand what is this term Daman Aiko. When it comes to India, there are different types of ethnic groups. One of the important ethnic groups which was present during the British rule happened to be the Santals. What did the Santals do? They were the community which were living on the shifting cultivation. They did not follow a fixed group of agricultural practices. What they had was shifting cultivation. But the British during that particular period wanted to ensure that this native group, the ethnic group, started practicing what is called as the fixed agriculture. As a result, they provided pieces of land to this particular community, large swathes of land to this particular community in the Rajmahal Hills, which is called as Daman Aiko. So originally the Santals, which happened to be an ethnic group, followed the shifting cultivation. Now lands were given by the British and they had to plough the land, practice agriculture, and they became settled peasants. After a considerable period of time, when they became settled peasants, what happens? The British start imposing heavy taxes on these Santals, and at the same time there were money lenders as well. They were giving money to these peasants at an exorbitant prices. So they realized that one, they are the ones who are plowing the lands, they are the ones who have become the settled agriculturists. Why should they pay the British, the colonial masters, as well as the money lenders? That is when it gives rise to a scenario called as the Santal Rebellion. So what is this Santal Rebellion? The colonial parties, the colonial masters imposed heavy taxes, money lenders were charging high rates of interest. So the Santals, an ethnic group, taking upon these two parties is what is called as Santal Rebellion. So the land that was awarded by the British in the Rajmahal Hills during that period is called as Daman Aiko. Now let's look into the next practice question. With respect to Brigmanite, which of the following statements are correct? It is the most volumetrically abundant mineral of the Earth's interior. It is present in the lower mantle. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is both. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of the mineral. What is this article speaking about? There were researchers from the IIT Kharagpur who were studying about a meteorite fall. Where did this meteorite fall happen? It happened near the town of Katol in Nagpur district of Maharashtra. They were trying to understand what is this meteorite all about. They did discover that this meteorite also had traces of the mineral called as the Brigmanite. So what happens? There is the meteorite. It has traces of the mineral called as Brigmanite, and this Brigmanite happens to be the volumetrically abundant mineral of the Earth's interior. It is present in the lower mantle where from 660 to 2700 kilometer, and it is important to understand its formation mechanism to better comprehend the origin and evolution of the Earth. So if we are able to understand what is the composition of the meteorite, how is that this mineral Brigmanite is present in the interior, we would have a clear picture about the evolution of the Earth. That is the significance of this particular study that is being conducted by the IIT Kharagpur. Added to this, this article also speaks about moon forming giant impact hypothesis. What is this hypothesis? Basically, it is one of the proposals made by the scientific community. According to them, they say that the moon was formed basically because of the collision between the Earth and another small planet which was about the size of the Mars. So what is this impact hypothesis? Basically, you had the Earth and you also had another small planet which was almost to the size of the Mars. They hit each other, they collided, the debris that was present is rotating the Earth in the form of moon, is what is called as the moon forming giant impact hypothesis. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following reports are published by International Monetary Fund? Global Financial Stability Report, Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Report, World Economic Outlook. The answer to this is 1 and 3 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of International Monetary Fund. When it comes to the International Monetary Fund, it releases number of reports. Two such reports include Global Financial Stability Report, World Economic Report. As part of the assignment, you have to put on the comment section, are there any other reports or the indices released by the International Monetary Fund? What about the Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Report? This is released by the World Economic Forum. Remember, there are other reports and indices. So kindly put on the comment section which are these released by the International Monetary Fund and which are the ones released by the World Economic Forum. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following statements are incorrect? Arabica is mild coffee and has higher market value compared to Robusta beans. Robusta is susceptible to pests and diseases such as white stem borer and requires more shade than Arabica. Which of the statements are incorrect? Remember, it is asking for the incorrect statement. So the answer to this would be 2 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article here makes a mention of Robusta coffee. When it comes to coffee, it is traditionally grown in the Western Ghats region, primarily in the states of Karnataka, in the states of Kerala and also in Tamil Nadu as well. These are the traditional places where coffee is grown. However, it is also being expanded to other regions as well. This includes the state of Andhra Pradesh, it includes the state of Odisha and it is also being grown in northeastern states as well. So traditionally these areas were where coffee were grown and now it is also shifted to these regions as well. Coffee is predominantly an export oriented commodity. About 65 to 70% that is produced in India is transported to other countries and about 30% is used for home consumption. When it comes to the differences between Arabica and Robusta, Arabica happens to be a mild coffee. So the first statement is right and has higher market value compared to the Robusta beans. This is a correct statement. However, when you look into the second statement, Arabica is susceptible to pests and diseases such as white stem borer and requires more shade than Robusta. So this is switched here. So the answer to this would be 2 only. Why? Because it is asking for the incorrect statement. Apart from that, Arabica also requires more care and nurture, and at the same time Robusta has more strength as well, and Arabica is usually grown in higher altitudes than Robusta. Now let's look into the next practice question. With reference to Pradhana Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, consider the following statements. Under the scheme, farmers will have to pay a uniform premium of 2% for any crop they cultivate in any season of the year. The scheme covers post-harvest losses arising out of cyclones and unseasonal rains. Which of the statements given above are correct? The answer to this is 2 only. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2016. What is wrong with the first statement? The first statement says that farmers will have to pay a uniform premium of 2% for any crop. This is a wrong statement. Why? That is because when you look into this particular scheme, there are different types of premiums. For example, it is about 2% for the kharif crops, about 1.5% for the rabi crops, about 5% in case of commercial and horticultural crops. So it is totally different for different kinds of crops. Since it says it is only uniform premium for all types of crops, this happens to be a wrong statement. The second statement is right. So when we speak about Pradhana Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, basically this is a crop insurance scheme that the government of India came up in the year 2016, and this was launched by the Ministry of Agriculture. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is invasive alien species. What are these invasive alien species? As the very name denotes, they are invasive in nature and are alien in that region, which means that these are the species. It can be a plant, it can be an animal, it can be a pathogen, or it can be any species which is not originally present in that region but introduced into this region because of movement of people or accidentally introduced into this region. So a species which is not originally present in that region but introduced by people or accidentally enters that particular region, whereby it also captures that region, does not allow the native plants or native organisms to grow, is what is called as invasive alien species. So this happens to be an alien because it is not originally present in that region, and it is invasive because it also takes up the food and that particular area, colonizes the area and disturbs the naturally present organisms, plants and animals in that region. So what exactly happens? The minute this invasive alien species enters into a region, what would happen? This will disturb that particular region economically, environmentally, as well as it might also impact the biodiversity in the region. Let me explain this with the help of an example. Let's say there is one of the invasive species. The minute this invasive species enter that particular area, it may capture that particular area, colonize that particular area. It may also take more of sunlight from that particular region. It may also suck more of water in that particular region, and this will also disable growth of other plants in that particular region or the grass in that region. As a result, what would happen? Other trees in that particular region will not get enough sunlight, will not get enough water, there will not be growth of the grass, and as a result, people who are relying on these grasses, relying on the native plants, will be the major sufferers. So what we will have is an economic loss for the people. Added to this, this can also threaten other biodiversity as well. How? Let's take for example the cattle. Let's take for example cow as well. These cows may be relying on the grass that is present in that region, but because of an invasive species that enters this region, there is not much of water or sunlight for the grass, and this will see a natural death in that region. So what is happening here? There is a problem on the economic front, on the biodiversity front, and at the same time this could also have environmental consequences for that particular region. Now the question is, how is that this invasive alien species enter into a region? One, it can be because of people. What we are currently witnessing is a globalization era. What would people do? They travel from one region to another. As they travel from one region to another, they may like a particular plant, they might like a particular animal. So originally, which is not present in that region, they may get this plant or animal from a different region to their home countries. So what would happen? New species, new plants would be introduced in that region, and ultimately they become the invasive species. Added to this, you might also have number of ships moving from one region to another. So when they are transporting different types of goods and commodities, accidentally it may enter the shipping area and ultimately land in the coastal regions of a particular country, and it can also become invasive as well. The minute it becomes invasive, it harms them environmentally, economically, as well as health of the biodiversity will also be impacted. Whenever there is an invasive species, it can also create allergies and skin diseases, and ultimately this can also harm people and other cattle as well. These are the disastrous consequences of invasive alien species. In order to overcome this, the policymakers will have to identify which are these invasive alien species. They should understand the magnitude of the problem and create awareness among the people so that this does not impact the environment. It is this that we have to understand in reference to this article. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.